My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. As soon as I learned that we are celebrating the feast of Saints Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, those words of Psalm 133 came to my mind, which says, "Behold how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity." When celebrating the saints, we are sort of honoring the invitation to share in the heavenly celebration of these saintly figures. In this case, who have been siblings here on earth, as the Gospels present them, especially in Luke chapter 10 and also in John chapters 11 and 12. First of all, I ask you, Jesus, to allow me join you in being at home with Martha, Mary, and Lazarus. What often happens at home among siblings, I ask? They grow up together, so fond of one another, and easily pick at one another. I have a personal experience. Like Lazarus, I too can boast of two sisters. The older one is called Martha. Pray for her. And guess what? The other is called not Mary. Sorry, that will be too much of a coincidence. Anyway, so the other day I was teasing my sister that she was a troublemaker, just like Martha, the original one. And I was telling her straight away to learn to be like Mary. She then texted in reply that she would rather learn from the two. Well, this is what you and I may want to do in the company of Jesus to discover the uniqueness of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, who have been so close to you, Jesus. According to the Gospel of St. Luke, chapter 10, which recently we've also come across, that was 2 Sundays ago when it was read, Martha was in charge of the house which Jesus enters. Then Mary is presented as her sister, and Mary is said to be parakethizo. What? Here you ask. Parakethizo. Yes, this is St. Luke's original term for describing Mary's action. From parakethizo, to sit down near, this time sitting down near the feet of the Lord, listening to his word. That word, parakethizo, never appears again in the whole New Testament. So that is to say, an action characteristic of Mary. Later, this same Mary will be criticized for her special attention to you, Jesus, both in this passage by her sister, Mother, and later in St. John's chapter 12 by Judas, when she anoints with costly ointment the same feet of Jesus she now sits close to. Mary must be telling us something, telling you and me something about giving a primary place to those exclusive dealings with Jesus, like now, as you're doing your daily meditation, while praying the rosary, especially at Holy Mass. Let's give prime time to Jesus, not the worst hours of the day when it's more difficult to struggle against distractions. Now, what is characteristic of Saint Martha? In St. Luke's words, Martha perispato. Again, perispato. Pardon me for this, but from the word perispao, to drag all around, to cumber. She was cumbered, distracted by much serving. And this is the only time this word appears in the New Testament, attached to Martha. As you know well, Jesus, Martha is an action lady, we might say. Having convinced you to stop by their house, she works hard to meet up with expectation. It seems she easily picks at her siblings, looking for their trouble. Even now, looks for your trouble, Jesus. Later, she'll be the one provoking you, asking you, why didn't you come earlier? When Lazarus was still ill, he wouldn't have died. For now, let's listen to her. Lord, Do you not care that my sister, who is parakethizo, has left me to serve alone? Actually, she is perispao, more bothered than serving. Tell her then to help me, Martha says. It is insightful to learn that this word help, sunantilobetai, which St. Luke employs again, comes up where St. Paul in Romans chapter 8 verse 26 refers to the Holy Spirit helping our weakness and aiding us in praying. Imagine Martha asking indeed for the help of the Holy Spirit in her occupation, which she seems to have lost in her distraction, anxiety, and lack of peace with Mary and others. Dear Holy Spirit, help us, help me. Tell her then to help me. Let's tell the Holy Spirit to help us. With her, with Martha, we can all invite the Holy Spirit to aid us in every task we do. In that way, we can maintain peace and serenity while fulfilling our duties. And what about Lazarus? We can turn to this story of Lazarus according to the famous work titled In the Shadow of the Father by Jan Dobraczynski, a story largely based on the Gospels, but it refers to the early years of Lazarus. It happened that Our Lady, the Blessed Virgin Mary, was on a long journey. That long journey she made to Jerusalem to visit Elizabeth. And she passes the night in a village house, hosted by a woman who turns out to be the mother of baby Lazarus, hence of Martha and Mary. Miriam, as Mary is called, came close to the baby's shakedown and leant over it. The woman said, "You'll better do not touch him." She comprehended what the woman was talking about at once. On the baby's red little face she could clearly see the white spot. "I do not know myself where the sickness came from," the mother said suddenly. "What wrong have we done that the highest has touched us so severely? The priest paid us a visit. He saw him. He said that I should have given him away and that he could not stay in the village, and he is my firstborn, my Lazarus." She cried for a little while. Miriam was quiet. The sick child in the corner of the room started crying louder and more painfully. The mother did not move, though tiredness must have put her into a deep sleep in the end. She was breathing heavily but evenly. Miriam got up quietly and walked on tiptoe to the crying baby. She pulled out her hand and placed it on the baby's red, hot forehead. "Since you exist, do make my hand to be yours for a moment. May it bring some relief." At this moment, Jesus, Mary was talking to you, there in her womb. The touch of her hand had made the boy stop crying. Her fingers were gently stroking the ill baby's cheeks. She felt the flakes of dead skin as she dried the baby's tears. She desired nothing else but to calm it down and make it asleep, and indeed, its sobbing diminished and finally ceased. Its breathing became tranquil and it went to sleep. The mother did not wake up. Miriam returned quietly. The following morning, when the mother was bidding farewell to Mary, who was going to continue on her journey, she will be saying, "Lazarus cried less than usual last night. I have not slept so well for a long time." So it had happened that the baby perhaps had been cured. Before leaving, Mary asks, "What is your village called?" "Bethany. Do not forget to visit us if you ever pass by." Some years later, on the Holy Family's return from Egypt, pausing their journey in the village of Bethany, they meet a woman who invites them over. "If you wish, stay at my place. It is here, not far away. We have a large house and only 3 kids. My husband and I will be happy to receive you. My son is just like that boy." She pointed at Jesus. "He is my son," Mary responded. So it happens that Lazarus and Jesus are of the same age. When they came close to the house, Miriam recognized it too. A boy of Jesus' age stood in front of it, and a girl, maybe 3 years old, was behind him. The woman introduced him. "This is my son Lazarus, and that one is my daughter, Martha. Take that basket from me, Lazarus. Meanwhile, I will show them where they may leave their things. When you finish with the clothes, do take care of the donkeys too." "I will help you," Jesus said. They both took the basket and they left, walking together with their heads leaned to each other. The little girl ran after them. In the room, another baby laid in the cradle. Passing it by, Miriam leans over it. What a beautiful one, she said, smiling at the baby. It is a girl, right? Yes, we have the boy and two daughters. The Almighty has not allowed more. I had so many worries with the boy, and I already thought I would not be able to have any at all. The Almighty has shown His mercy. May His name be glorified forever. And then it turns out that during the night, the mother of Lazarus was recounting the past, the trouble that Lazarus gave. At a moment, she looked at Mary and recognized her, realized that she was the woman who had passed by that night and introduced a difference in the house. And when she told Mary, "You are the one," Mary said, "No, no, it was not me." "Why? Of course it was you. I remember you leant over Lazarus. All the others drew themselves back, but you were not afraid. Who are you? Tell me." She smiled shyly. "I am a mother as you are, only a mother." And she tried to draw her attention to a different subject. "Look, the boys are talking to each other. They have made friends with each other at once." The mother of Lazarus said, "May the Almighty make this friendship never end." And so it turned out that Jesus and Lazarus remained friends. So Jesus, we find you very much at home at Bethany. I like it the way St. Joseph Maria would say. We should find also the tabernacle as a Bethany, where Jesus is at home with us. We can conclude with this prayer that comes up in today's Mass. O God, whose Son called back Lazarus from the grave to life, and in the house of Martha deemed it worthy to be a guest, grant unto us, we beseech, that faithfully serving among our brothers and sisters, we ourselves with Mary may merit to be fed by the meditation of His Word. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations which you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help to put them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.